Hello, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my internship at Kissimmee Christian Academy, or KCA. KCA is on site at Kissimmee Christian Church. They're at 415 North Main Street. To get more information about the school, you can go to the church website listed there. Sherry Mish is the director of the school. She oversees pre-K through 5th grade, but for my supervision purposes, Dr. Laura Erickson here at Johnson was able to do that. The population I served was from 5 to 12 years old, so kindergarten through 5th grade, both male and female students with presenting problems, typically revolving around social skills, inability to focus or lack of attention, peer relationships, and self esteem. The peer relationships is really important because several of the students are related, so not only were there issues with friends, but also maybe someone like a cousin or a sibling. My overview of direct service includes teaching social skills lessons in the 4 elementary classrooms, kindergarten through 5th grade, one time a week for 45 minutes. This would typically take place on Monday afternoons from 12:15 to 3:15. So I would try to start out with a game or activity to get the students engaged, or a book to introduce the topic, and then I liked to end with a quick group activity or a way for them to work together to be learning how to do this well. Another part of direct service is consulting with the teachers on which students they're hoping that you can work with individually, or what's going on in their classroom, and if they know any further information about a student's like home life or something like that. This was a great time for them to catch me up on all of that and for me to indicate to them things that I was learning as well. Individual sessions are a huge part. I would do these on Monday mornings prior to teaching, and the entire time I was there on Friday, obviously working around the class schedules and all the different teachers. I would typically see anywhere from 3 to 10 students for as little as 15 minutes or as long as 45 minutes, depending on how long I was able to have them out of their classroom. And again, they would vary in age, gender, and topic, but I would typically cover social skills, communication, making or keeping friends, and then if there was ever a problem while I was there on site with being upset or being angry, then I would kind of intervene in those moments and do an activity on anger and mindfulness and just how to calm down. Indirect service included lesson planning for those 4 lessons on Mondays. I would typically do the same lesson in the kindergarten and kindergarten 1st grade room and then switch it up for 2nd through 5th grade just to kind of meet them where they're at developmentally. Then I would also plan for individual sessions. In the beginning, I just did get to know yous and building rapport, and then I would tailor my prep toward what they needed. Note taking included session notes and progress notes on what I was noticing, but then also for administration, I would spend some time just in the classrooms observing what was happening and the behavior issues they were having, and then giving the teachers feedback, and they were pretty much always open to this and always open to changing something that they were doing. Finally, I also included searching the current Florida law because at times it was difficult to know exactly what to do in a situation. We had a couple different times when we needed to know just how to handle something, and so that was really beneficial as well. The top 3 highlights of my internship would definitely be establishing a strong rapport with a client who was regarded as particularly unruly by the teachers, but after spending some one-on-one time with him and working with him to kind of figure out what spoke well to him, I really did see a big transformation from when I first got there through my last day. So it was just good to see him kind of making progress and coming along. The second one would be working with a girl who was so shy, and we played therapy Jenga several different times, and as we did, she would really kind of open up more and more each time, and then I saw that reflected when in with her classmates when I would be teaching their lessons. It was just good to see a transformation in her too, but in a different way. And the final thing would be my own self-success in seeing how when I advocate on behalf of the students for all of the student body, that it really eventually did change the heart set and perspectives of the staff and administration. This was particularly a success in my book because I wasn't only helping just one student, but I was helping the entire student body. The top three challenges, the biggest by far is the fact that you don't have an office. So to do individual sessions here often looked like taking the student to the gym or putting them in the office in between two classrooms. And both of these options aren't fantastic. The gym was very loud and often distracting, not only for the client, but for you as well. But then in the offices, it wasn't exactly soundproof, so people could hear you, and there were anywhere from 20 to 30 students on each side of the windows looking in and able to see exactly what you were doing. But all of that aside, even if you did want an office, there really isn't a room for them to put you in, so you kind of have to get creative of how you're going to do your sessions. The second thing would be that affirmations and critique can be really difficult to read from the teachers and administrators. I think it was my second week there, and I was told that my lessons were ineffective because the class was not paying attention, when really this person just wanted me to refocus the students prior to teaching again, but that's definitely not the way it came across. So it is very important to be direct and communicate well, and to also understand that they are very busy and trying to navigate a lot and don't always mean to be rude or mean, but just kind of take it for what it is, I guess. The last thing would be that the teachers often choose the students for you to work with on an individual basis. So at times there may be a student you're really hoping to work with, but it's just not feasible, and the teachers really have other plans in mind and really need you to work with the student. So even if you feel that you're making fantastic progress, advocate for them to the teachers that you see this, and try to help them see it too, but you still may continue working with the same student when you really think that you don't need to be working with them anymore. The pros of this site are definitely that you have tons and tons of direct service opportunities. If you plan your time wisely, you can spend from 8:15 to 3:15 in direct service through individual sessions, consultations, and teaching. The block schedule allows for you to get face-to-face time with every single student, which is wonderful, and then for the topics that you're teaching to be heard and recognized classroom and then school-wide. So if you're on the same page of teaching something kindergarten through 5th grade, you have a great opportunity for everyone to hear it. The last thing is that KCA is very close to Johnson and is only about 10 minutes away, even with traffic on 192. The cons of this location would be that there is no office space, as I previously mentioned, which can just kind of throw a wrench in your plans. The second thing is that students are often their own advocate, so it can be difficult to kind of figure out what's going on with them, especially outside of school. So even something as simple as, what did you have for breakfast this morning, can change 3 to 4 times, so it's hard to know the truth if you never have access to a parent or guardian that was present when they had breakfast. And the last thing would be there are several different schedules to be planning around whenever you are planning out your time wisely for your individual sessions. Especially as the end of the semester got closer and closer, there were more practices and games and field trips to keep in mind. So just remember that as you're planning and work to what works best with the teachers, as that's typically what keeps them the happiest. Overall, I would recommend this site for future students. It can be difficult to not have an office, but the work that is being done here is very, very important, and is appreciated. The picture below is the rose that I was given on my last day there, with a thank you note and very well wishes from all of the teachers and administrators. I think this is a great site if you want to work with students in your future to keep in mind and potentially work with.